If I could show you a way to fully automate your dust collection system in your shop, one, without breaking the bank, two, explain to you how quickly this automation system can be integrated into your existing dust collection system. And by doing so, this would vastly improve the efficiency in your shop and also the air quality in your shop. Would you do it? I think you would, because I would. So why don't you follow along? I'm fixing to show you a super cool automation system for your shop. Let's go. All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit, but I've been really busy in here trying to build out this shop. But today I have a cool product by IVAC. And what you're seeing here in front of me is the IVAC Pro Automation Dust Collection System. There's a lot of components sitting up here, but the beauty of this system is you can piece it together as you go. It's very affordable. IVAC is a trusted company. It's been around the maker community forever. So let's get going. Let me show you what I'm gonna do here in my shop, and I'm gonna explain to you how each one of these components work and how you can slowly integrate it into your existing dust collection system. You can go full blown or you can put it piece by piece. All right, we're gonna start off right here with the main component, which is the brain of the system, and this is the IVAC Pro Switch. The IVAC Pro Switch is what connects with your dust collector. It's what all the other components send an RF signal to start your dust collection. This IVAC Pro Switch is what truly is gonna make it a fully automation system. I'm gonna show you how you program it on the back through a series of dip switches. Here is an example. There's dip switches back here that you set certain parameters so that way it can talk to this piece of equipment here. This is the Pro Tool Plus, and the Pro Tool Plus is what actually sends the signal to the Pro Switch and also to your gates to open and close them. The Pro Tool Plus, which I will sometimes refer to it as a trigger switch, this goes strapped around the power cord of your equipment. Whatever you're putting it on, if it's 220 volts or 120 volts, it doesn't matter. This works with both them voltages. You just install it around the cord. It's got some different configurations back here. And what it does is it senses the current flow, which then triggers an RF signal to the Pro Switch, which turns on your dust collector. And at the same time, it's sending a signal to the blast gate that is paired to this particular Pro Tool Plus switch. So another piece that you may need to have, depending on the type of dust collector you have, is this IVAC contactor switch. And you're asking, well, what is that? Well, this IVAC Pro Switch is only good with dust collectors up to 1.5 horsepower. So there's instances, depending on the dust collector, that the IVAC Pro Switch here cannot take the current demand of some of those dust collectors at startup. So what IVAC does is they throw a contactor switch in line with this. Your Pro Tool Plus, AKA trigger, will signal this. This will then be wired into the contactor switch, which the contactor switch has an electromagnetic device in there that'll actually energize and pull the contactor plate down, which on either side of the contactor plate, you'll have your voltage in and voltage out to the equipment. Now, this is not just for 220. This is for 120 volts as well. So there is some 120 volt systems that do pull a lot of amperage. You will still need to implement this contactor switch. The best thing to do is contact IVAC. Their customer support are absolutely amazing. Get all the pertinent information of your dust collectors, your tools, and they can get you set up. I will be doing a video on this separately to show how to wire this in. Now, I work with electricity. I'm comfortable working with it, but I highly recommend that if you're not comfortable or you don't know what you're doing, you need to hire a professional trained electrician to install this stuff. So we're gonna move on to the blast gates. We have the IVAC 4-inch Pro blast gate, which is here to my right, and then you have a bigger metal 6-inch Pro blast gate. In my system, these 6-inch blast gates are up high and they are going to section off the different parts of my dust collection system on the big trunk lines so that I can optimize my dust collecting. This gate may not be something that you need in yours, depending on how complex your dust collection system is. But again, contacting IVAC, they can help you set it up. So for now, for demonstration purposes, we're going to be using the 4-inch gate. Now, another product that IVAC does have as well is the Candlestick sensors. That's what you're seeing up here is the LED lights. These LED lights are put on each blast gate and it tells you whether the gate is closed. As you can see, this one's green because this gate's open, and on the other side it's red because that gate is closed. This is very helpful. You can just stare across the shop or stare up in the air and see what's open in your system to make sure it's operating properly. So in another video, we're going to be demonstrating how you install it. Another product that I'll be using is the grounding kit. This grounding kit brings everything you need to make grounding your dust collection system seamless. It has an electromagnetic tape, and the adhesive also on this tape is conductive. So you can overlap your tape and it's still going to conduct through the adhesive. This alleviates having to wrap your pipes with copper wire. We ran in a straight line along the pipe, and every 4 to 5 foot, you sink a screw through the pipe, through the tape and into the pipe so that it picks up that static and dissipates it through the tape. And also it brings along some grounding wire so that when you get to a connection point that has a gate, your blast gates up here have a terminal on there, and you simply just make a little jumper and ground the gate. And one of the last things that I want to touch on, and if you remember earlier in the video, I explained that this system can be put in piece by piece. Well, here's a product that'll also let you integrate the blast gates into your system without having to put a trigger or a Pro Switch in. This is a remote, and this remote has dip switches in there that you can set to match the blast gate, and you can simply hit open or on, and it's going to open the gate, and then off will close the gate. And it can be done by just simply setting the tool addresses the same and making sure you put the switch out here on the blast gate to the proper setting so this will work. This can also be used with the IVAC Pro Switch. If you don't want to get a trigger and you just have a dust collector that doesn't have a way to automatically turn it on, you can set the system address to the Pro Switch, boom, turn your dust collector on. There's so many different configurations, and you can implement IVAC product into your dust collection system little by little, all at once, whatever you choose to do. So we're gonna get turned around here, and I'm gonna explain to you the dip switches on each piece and how everything intertwines with each other so that you can get better acquainted with this, and it'll make it a lot easier. So let me get some cameras turned around, and we're gonna get to the really good stuff and explain how the dip switches work in each device and show you how to program it. As you can see, I have some devices set up on the workbench. And for demonstration purposes today, the heat gun is gonna be our table saw. The battery charger is going to be our planer. And this desk light is our dust collector. This system works is you have a IVAC Pro Tool Plus that is clamped over the cord of the particular piece of equipment. And what it does is it senses current flow when you turn that equipment on. And what happens once it senses that current flow, it's going to signal the IVAC Pro Switch to turn the dust collector on. And at the same time, it's going to tell the gate open that needs to open and the gate that needs to close. So before we move on, I want to explain something. With the IVAC automation system, IVAC tells you to leave one gate always defaulted open. So that way at startup, when your dust collector kicks on, it's not trying to pull on a closed dust collection system. I will show you and explain to you how you set up and default one gate in your system to always be open at startup. So we have the IVAC Pro Tool Plus switch. And the IVAC Pro Tool Plus switch has a series of dip switches on it. And dip switches 1 through 6. And in the instructions of IVAC, it shows them as S1 through S6. So S1, S2, S3, and so on and so forth. But S1 means dip switch 1. So on the IVAC Pro Tool Plus, S1 and S2 are dip switch 1 and 2. Set your system address. So the IVAC system has 4 system addresses that can be set up on this IVAC Pro Switch. You have system address A, system address B, system address C, and system address D. And each system address has the capability of operating 8 tools or 8 Pro Tool Plus trigger switches. Those dip switches are set up for each tool independently. And I will explain to you how you set up tool addresses so that the IVAC Pro Tool Plus can talk to the gate. And also at the same time, it'll talk to the IVAC Pro Switch to turn on your dust collector. Moving on, S3 or dip switch 3 on the IVAC Pro Tool Plus is the amount of time that signals for the gates to open and close. On the IVAC Pro Switch, that is a little different. The timing that the dust collector stays on and off once the Pro Switch receives a signal that that tool has been shut off, it uses S5 and 6 dip switches. So 5 and 6 dip switch is what sets the timing for the Pro Switch to turn the dust collector off after the signal is received from the Pro Tool Plus that no more current is flowing and it needs to shut the dust collector. So it's a little different and you got to pay close attention so you don't get confused, set the wrong dip switch. Before we move on, I want to hit on this key point. IVAC sends some decals where you can label. And the cool thing about this system is that you can test it right here on the bench and you can set up every Pro Tool Plus and every gate and you can label them. And the same label that I put on this Pro Tool Plus is on the gate that it's going to be paired with. So that way you can set the dip switches, test them and put them aside. And if you're having a multiple gate system like I am, you know which pieces are matched together so you don't get them mixed up. So I'm going to bring you in. So on the IVAC Pro Tool Plus switch, S1 and S2 are your system address. S3 is the time that you're going to leave the gate open after this is shut off or after this stops sensing current. When the S3 dip switch or third dip switch is in the off position, that's a 50-second delay. When it is in the on position, that is a 2-second delay. And here's a perfect time to tell you that default in this IVAC Pro system is setting tool address 1 on the Pro switch, and you want to set that default gate to tool address 1, and you want to leave S3 in the on position. So that's a 2-second delay. And that's a default that leaves that gate in the open position. So another key thing to look at here on the Pro Tool Plus, if you can see that blue little box, that's a sensitivity switch. And if you install this and you don't see this red LED start lighting up when you turn the tool on, you need to tweak that sensitivity switch, and in the instructions it'll tell you which way to turn it so that it starts detecting that current. When you are programming these, this toggle switch here needs to be in the off position while you're moving dip switch. And then once you have it set and you're ready to close this up, then you move this to the auto position. If you try to make any changes while it's in the auto position, it's not going to save anything. So same thing on these dip switches, you've got dip switch 1 through 6 or S1 through S6. And S1 and S2 are your system address, which you will set that up depending on what system address you want to use. And then S3 is going to be your time delay that the blast gate stays open. When you put these in place, it needs to be in the off position, which gives you a 50-second delay. And that is done to give the dust collector optimal time to shut down before you close the system off. So that is very important that you don't want to set it to 2 seconds because they're all going to close, but you're probably thinking, well, wait, you got a default gate, which is true. It won't do anything, but what you're going to do is not allow the dust to clear out of your pipe. So set everything other than your default gate on the number 3 dip switch to off, which is 50-second delay. So that way the gates stay open once the tool is shut off, which will make the dust collector shut off at 45 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, your gate will close. There's a nice diagram in the IVAC website that will tell you what orientations the dip switches need to be in to set the tool addresses. I highly recommend that you go in there and you get that and download that so you know what to set them at. On the IVAC Pro Switch, S1 and S2 are in the off position, and that is system address A. 5 and 6 are your delay time of how long the dust collector sits on. There is a helpful little diagram back here on the back side of this IVAC Pro Switch that tells you how to orientate the dip switches. And it is labeled as off time, and it'll tell you what to set S5 and what to set S6 to gain any of these times on here. And those are the only ones that you'll be moving on this IVAC Pro Switch, S1, S2, and S5 and S6. So now we're going to demonstrate how these gates work with the system. So the way I have this system set up here for demonstration purposes, my table saw, aka heat gun, which is my default gate. As you can see, the candlestick is green. meaning it's open. It has a tool address of 1, which is paired to my default blast gate, which is also tool address 1. My planer is tool address 2, which is the other blast gate that's red, which is in the closed position, which the candlestick sensor is telling you red, that means the gate is closed. Okay, so the way this works, my tool address 1 is my default blast gate, and it's hooked to my table saw, aka heat gun. So if I turn this on, that gate is already open. It's gonna stay on, and my dust collector turns on. Now, let's just say, but you have somebody else working with you, and they're gonna run the planer. So we're gonna turn the planer on. So now the planer gate or tool address 2 opens up, and they both stay open. Let's just say I get done with the table saw and I turn it off. Now my tool address 1 closes. Candlestick tells you that it's closed, but the planer's still on because it's running. So now my default gate is closed because we have the planer running, and it knows that. But as soon as I turn the planer off, it reverts to open because it's defaulted to that. Tool address 2 closes, and then the dust collector goes off, and everything is shut off and back in place. Now, let's say I'm not going to use the table saw, and I come and I turn the planer back on. Immediately, tool address 2 opens, the defaulted gate tool address 1 closes, the dust collector's on, we're working. We get done with the planer, shut it off, and everything goes back to normal for the off position. Then your dust collector shuts off. So that is the fully automated system. It's absolutely wonderful. If you can integrate it into your shop, the flip of a switch is going to make everything just go to work for you. No more running around with the stick trying to open gates. That's the thing of the past with all this. So that is going to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you gained some knowledge on the IVAC automation dust collection system. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and just stay tuned. The next video that's going to come up, we're going to be installing the contactor on my big Grizzly dust collector. So if you enjoyed this, please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and click all so you know when I put out the next video. So until then, thank you for your time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.